After the success of the last video, I think it's safe to say that people liked the new layout, so it's how I'm going to progress. It allows me to make an entertaining video in the confines of a school environment, so if you don't like it, I'm afraid that you'll basically have to suck it up. With Green Eyes out of the way, an immensely popular mod both in general and in my comment section, I think it's time for me to do the exact opposite and cover a mod that literally no one asked for. When I think of characters to add to a speedy, momentum-based platformer, Henry Stickman from the Henry Stickman franchise of Choose Your Own Path comedy adventures isn't the first character I think of. I don't know how the mad lad's done it, but T. Corvus has somehow managed to pull off a mod that's faithful to the original series while still managing to fit the SRB2 mode perfectly. Henry Stickmin's moveset may initially seem fairly limited, considering the only option he has with vanilla buttons is a free aim gun using the spin button. I admit that I don't particularly like free aim in SRB2, because even if you're playing a game built off a modified Doom engine, one of the first big FPSs, having to take time to carefully line up shots to hit enemies will always go against SRB2's pathos of flow and fluidity, especially when you don't even get a reticle to make the process easier. The gun is still fairly harmless, especially because I don't know what you put in the spin button otherwise, but I feel it'd be better if it's automatically aimed at obstacles. That isn't the main draw of Henry though, oh no, as that honour goes to the Gadget box, featuring 4 of the most iconic gadgets from the Henry Stickmin franchise: the scooter, the jetpack, the teleporter, and the gravity inverter. Let's get this out of the way quickly. I had a difficult time even getting into the menu. Due to the limitations of a controller, the button to enter the gadget menu and the dance button are one and the same, which means I had to find a bunch of exploits to be able to choose which option I specifically wanted in each scenario. I know I got some flack last time for criticising a mod that clearly was built for keyboard for not working as intended on a controller, but I'd say that if you need to have to limit your player base to one option, then you probably need to cull some of the less important features and focus on the ones you want to keep. I feel you should be making a mod that's simple to pick up and hard to master instead of making an overly complicated control scheme. But hey, that could just be me. After that little rant, once I got onto the gadget menu, my choices were immediately limited to just the jetpack and the scooter. Sure, I could equip the other two fine, but due to the aforementioned limitations of a controller, I wasn't able to actually use them. Even after my moveset was essentially cut in half, I feel Henry still has a decent range of options at any one time. The jetpack is obviously built to improve Henry's verticality, as is the scooter built to improve his speed, and they both work fine in those roles. I don't feel either are particularly revolutionary, but they don't actively harm Henry due to their inclusion. I recognise that the two I'm limited to is the more boring half of the gadget menu, but I also feel they're the two that work best if you're just trying to get through a stage. My main complaint would be how long it takes to actually swap between the two. Every time you want to switch gadgets, you need to first ditch the gadget you're currently using, then go through the gadget menu, which plays the same animation every single time you use it, before selecting what new gadget you want to use. That's 3 to 5 seconds every single time, which obviously breaks up the flow of the game considerably. Now, after all that, what do I think of Henry Stickmin as a whole? Despite the fact it sounds like it was mostly negatives I had with this character, I still feel the positives outweigh the negatives. He feels like the character from his own games rather than some Sonic clone who just looks like him. His sprites are good and exude personality and charm, and he feels unique. Therefore, I will be giving him a 7 out of 10 and placing him 22nd on the ranking, above Game Factory Sonic and below Tailstone. I forgot to give Green Eyes a place in the ranking, so I'm going to place him in 30th place, above Weedo the Wild and below Flicky. I know I say this every episode recently, but uploads will be less common as I'm going back to school very soon. Enjoy the rest of this footage, and ciao.